I mean, I guess the first thing you hope for is you have that ideal. Everybody's going to love each other, everybody's going to get along, and everyone's going to understand each other. I don't know if you can ever get that perfect a situation, but I've told the students, and I think the students are interested in it too, the idea of trying to see another point of view. You know, we get so caught up in ourselves and so aware of the things that are important to us. It's eye-opening to take a look at things from another perspective and see what maybe is important to someone else. I think the biggest thing is time. You know, we have this Truth and Reconciliation group in Ottawa now trying to figure out the whole residential school thing and the fallout from that. And I think regardless, again, of what your experience is with residential school, good, bad, whatever, there's a stigma there.
Because there wasn't a proper orientation for them to adapt a new way of life, see. A lot of them became street people.
Residential school systems were an opportunity to get further in school. Residential schools were very loaded places because you didn't have parents, you didn't have a place to go, you didn't have a community, you had no opportunity of speaking your language, you had no opportunity of being part of a process that was yours.
However, everybody was in the same situation. It was difficult for everybody. And I think within that understanding, that you were able to cope, it helped to know that you weren't the only one in that situation. I really think that was part of the strength that the kids got off from each other, that you weren't by yourself or you weren't alone.
Well, the schooling I got through residential school, I think it was good because you had to do what you had to do.
It was a tough time and a very tough process, but it was an opportunity as well to learn, to begin to develop what values were important to you. And some of those values was being honest, being clear of the direction you wanted to move, and some of the things that were important to you as a person, that we had to respect and to care for others and to move in that direction.
You know, and being an Aboriginal kid coming into an institution, granted not a residential school, granted a school that's trying to be positive and all those things, that's got to be pretty scary. You know, whether it's for the student themselves or whether it's the parents or the grandparents or whoever has gone through and felt that kind of pain. I think time is going to be the big healer. If we keep trying to look at individuals and keep trying to recognize that everybody has their story and allow people to tell their stories, I think there will be healing.
We have to start with the will of the people. I think the will of the people is very important, both in the university system, the high school levels, and the elementary school system.
The students have to want to be here, you know, and that's not to say it's all up to them. You know, the place has to be inviting, but ultimately it'll be the student that decides how successful they're going to be.
Because the system in the end is how we strategically move students to get the post-secondary education, because that's what they want. Because if we don't do that, then the system will always be weak. There will be always one group of students, namely those who don't start in the system, who will be left behind.
The current education system today, for sure, the pendulum has swung all the way to the other way. From the vision of assimilation to the old saying of getting the Indian out of the child, now they're incorporating the seven grandfather teachings. They're having elders in the school, and a number of native-focused programs are being offered at the high school.
If you can open the doors and you can, you know, lay out the trough, as it were, it's still going to be up to the student to come and have a drink. But I think the more that come and the more that get into recognizing this is a positive thing, I think that the easier it's going to be to see things happen.
The student themselves, and they have to take that responsibility. And also, I think it's important that the students of today, that they realize to get into the real world and how commerce applies and how education applies to that.
I don't think it really bothers me or affects me, maybe that's the right way to put it. You know, where you come from or who you are. I just want to see that you can find some success. And if I can open those doors, then great. You know, if I can't, well, then maybe someone else will be able to. But people are people, you know, and we all want to find our way and figure out who we are. And I think as a teacher, that's what you try to help with, if you can.
Don't wait for systems or people to change. You've got to take control of your own life, build it, and move forward.
Be proud of who you are. Respect who you are. And respect other cultures. The goals that you wish to achieve are achievable. The dreams that every child and every person have are achievable. And that can be done. I think we have to begin to get a stronger, positive process for the children to begin to grow in. An environment full of love and care is going to create an environment of citizens in the future.
Finish school, because once you get an education, that's how you'll proceed, and good education leads to a good life.